Hi, I'm Peter Birch and welcome to my channel. Today guys, we're looking at awesome looking paint jobs on leopard geckos. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button. Continue to join the venture. We're here at Sasebek, checking out awesome leopard geckos. All right, I'm here with Matt Bronick of Sasebek Reptiles. Matt, this guy, I've known this guy for quite many years, and I tell you what, he has absolutely excelled in these leopard geckos, and I can't wait to see what you've got installed for us. Today, we're going to be learning a little bit about genetics. We're going to learn about colors and patterns, but more importantly, look at these amazing paint jobs that we're getting with leopard geckos. Teach us, man. Teach us some of the cool stuff.
So a lot of the stuff that I work with is polygenetic stuff because I don't like the simple recessives and all that stuff. I mean, I still work with it, but I like to do the whole crazy, like, mix it all up in a pot, get some really cool looking ones, as you see here today. So what I'm going to show you today is my Joker project, which is basically the clown project reinvented, adding a few new genetics to it.
It's right there. So for those at home that don't know, polygenics is what we're calling line breeding, basically. So we're breeding related animals in some instances, but we're looking for certain traits, keeping a really good records and breeding those animals back to each other and producing some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically these two animals in here are two very, very well-known genetics in the trade. So this is the Joker project animal.
So this guy here is what we're talking about, right?
Yep, that guy right there.
So what are the attributes that makes it a clown, or I guess the reinvented Joker?
So it all started with a line of Tangerine, the electric line, and then I crossed that into some bold stripes, and then the bold stripes basically gave it that color and pattern that you see there today, and then line bred to make the orange pop.
That's pretty awesome.
The next step in the evolution of the Joker project, you know, in all the Batman movies, the Joker, every time it's portrayed by somebody else, it's totally different. I tried to throw in some Black Knights. We're going to be talking about the Black Knight cross today.
Okay.
And then also I threw it in with Firebolts, Blood Tangerines, stuff like that, just to give it a little bit more.
Awesome.
And then also threw it into all the different strains of albino.
As you do, get a little bit carried away. You chuck it in everything,
yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, we're chopping off all this. I mixed it in with the 3 strains of albino as well, so that there was an albino variety of each one of them. And then what I'll do eventually is cross Black Knight, albino, and the Joker all into one animal, and then you'll get the albino form of what I've called the Dark Knight, which is one of the Batman movies. I thought that would be a pretty cool name for the Black Knight Joker cross.
Very appropriate. I guess it's for the DC fans, right?
Yeah, exactly. Basically, whenever you cross the two, you get animals that look normal. They don't really look like either one. Then it's that second generation that you'll get the craziness like you see here.
Where's that one?
That one.
So basically, for most people, they would think you're putting these two animals together, you're producing a double het.
Basically.
Which is a visual double het, right? Because it is quite different to those two parents.
But that's more of the normal look.
That's the thing we're going to take into consideration. What does a normal looking leopard gecko look like these days?
Basically that.
So that would be a double het because it is like a wild type sort of coloration. Put two of those together and we're producing that bad boy right there.
Yes.
Achieving this, then you've taken it to the next level. Like you said, then you started putting it in different colors as well, right?
Yep, different albino strains.
All right, so the different albino strains. So for most people that don't know that, you know, usually you see two different albinos, you put them together and they work, right? That's called allelic. That means they share the same sort of part of that ally that works together. And I guess the most intriguing part for me as an Australian is you guys have multiple lines of albino stuff that's non-allelic, which means they're completely separate or individual.
Yes, over here in leopard geckos, we have 3 strains of albino. We have the Tremper albino, we have the Bell albino, and then we have the Rainwater or Las Vegas albino that has 2 different names. So it makes it even more confusing.
Yeah,
it's the same animal.
They all sound fancy, but so let's see what you're doing with putting that into some of the albino stuff. See what that's doing to it.
So these are the 3 strains of albino into the Joker project.
Right.
So right here we have the Bell albino.
So they've already got the combination already in here.
Yeah, this is second generation.
So this isn't looking into the future. You're already there.
I'm already there.
Oh, geesh.
So that's the Bell strain into the Joker. This is the Tremper strain into the Joker, and this is the Rainwater strain into the Joker.
So talking about the 3 different types of albinos, what are they bringing to the table in this particular? I mean, I can see it straight away. There's different patterns, even slightly different hues of purples in there as well.
Yes, yeah.
So they're bringing different attributes into the same project, which is quite amazing.
The 2 that are pretty closely looking is the Rainwater and the Tremper. Tremper is just usually a little bit more clean.
Yes.
And they've been more developed, so they, you know, are usually a little bit more clean with the lavender on the sides. It has a lot more of the bold influence in there. The Bell albino definitely has more of that like purplish hue to it because they are kind of a darker strain of albino. But yeah, they all look freaking awesome. So it's hard to pick just one.
Man. So what do we got now, Matty? What's this one?
All right, so this is called my G2 project.
So it doesn't even have a real name yet.
No,
it's still in
actually, that is its real name.
Oh.
Back whenever, 15 years ago, whenever I was doing this is one of the projects that I really started with. It was called a G project, which actually stood for Gatorade. It didn't stand for green. A lot of people thought it stood for green. So these guys, back in the day, whenever I was doing this, it was just basically try to get 100% carrot tail on an orange-bodied animal, and a lot of those lines got lost, so I recreated it and called it G2.
Generation 2, there we are, or 2.0.
Yeah, 2.0 basically.
And that could be the next one, right?
The G Project 2.0.
Look at that. That is stunning. I can't believe you just consistently keep pulling out cool looking stuff. And these paint jobs are just truly amazing. I mean, that thing there, that would almost be like I would consider it's like a form of T positive maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell me more about
So this one actually looks more like a African fat tail than anything else. This is actually a Black Knight Bell Albino from the Joker Project. So the only thing we're missing with this one is the cool stripe down the back.
Ooh.
So probably next year we'll hit on the stripe and then it'll look even cooler. But yeah, this is the progression of the projects. As you can see, really a lot of lavender on this one and the color. So that makes this animal really incredible.
It's that super contrast that, like you say, that lavender just really makes those oranges and the yellows pop. It's crazy. Talk to us more about this. I mean, as we noticed with some of the animals, some of these leopard geckos, and I mean, obviously they got their name because of the patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these seem to be devoid of those typical characteristics. And we're looking at more of these like linear stripes. I guess most people call them stripes, but we usually associate stripes with tigers, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is more like a line from head to tail. But they also have these crazy head patterns too.
Yeah, absolutely. So this one is actually a firebolt. So this is another ingredient that I threw into the old school clowns to make the new version of clowns. By using this type of animal, I was able to make the bold stay a little bit longer on the sides, which made it a really incredible looking animal as well.
So I guess what you're saying is you can definitely maintain those stripes, but down the sides you're losing a lot of the patterns.
Yes. And, as the pattern kind of fades out, it turns lavender at a point, and then it'll start to get this yellowish color in the lavender, because what's happening is the oranges are trying to take over the whole body. So if you don't have a strong enough black, it'll just get taken over by the orange color.
For the sake of it, I guess the orange is actually drawing all the melanin out, right? Or it's just overtaking, it's more dominant.
Yeah, it's covering it
so
up.
it's actually building up that layer. The weird thing for me is, considering that most lizards, when they're born, some of these different skinks and wild types, they do lose certain patterns as they age. To think that it happens to a gecko is sort of blows my mind, like it's just not something I'm used to. So that's interesting to hear about that particular detail.
Yeah, and a lot of the different colors are actually in different layers of the skin. So it's all about matching up those layers to make the overall look of the animal look the best.
And I guess for a lot of people, they see something hatch and they go, oh yeah, that looks cool, that's going to stay like that forever. But as we know, most animals, as they start to age, they go through like a color change. And I mean, the most dramatic one, I guess, is what we call the green tree pythons. They go through that autogenic color change. Yep. I mean, we see it with all types of animals across the world. And I wouldn't have thought the geckos would have done it to the extreme that I've seen here today.
Yes. They definitely have quite a bit of a color change throughout their life. Start off looking one way, and then they could turn out looking totally different later.
I'll tell you what, guys, I absolutely enjoyed myself today. Thank you, Matt.
Absolutely.
Where can we find you, Matt?
You can find me at Sassobeck Reptiles on all your social media platforms.
Yep. Make sure you check it out, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I certainly did. Check out the awesome paint jobs, and make sure you hit Matty up and check out the cool stuff he's doing. Thanks again for watching CrittaCam.